Welcome everyone to our first web video session where we will be covering many of the topics we deal with every day at Liquidus, ranging from blockchain technology to how companies and countries can enter the digital age. In today's session, we'll be covering some of the questions we received from the article that was written on Liquidus in the Nassau Guardian newspaper on November 12th. To help answer some of the questions, I have Matt Hinkley, the CEO of Liquidus, on the line, along with a special guest, Rhonda Eldridge, who is a native Bahamian who has worked in the financial sector for over 25 years with some of the largest institutions in the world. And she is also the founder of Harness All Possibilities, HAP, which is a nonprofit social enterprise. The format of the video session today is to have an open discussion whereby Rhonda will pose questions to Matt, as well provide some context surrounding her personal experience of being from the Bahamas. Without further ado, Rhonda, take it away.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Matt, well, I've got some tough questions. So the first one is going to be that article you wrote. It stated that Liquidus' platform is one of a kind. What makes it so unique?
It's a great question, Rhonda. Thank you for asking. Well, I suppose the easiest way to explain this is my previous role was cryptocurrency leader at PricewaterhouseCoopers. So I really understood what was missing from blockchain technology and digitization to onboard businesses and individuals into this so-called digital world. So our platform's unique because instead of building digital infrastructure and hoping that people adapt, we're building digital infrastructure around a current problem and then building organically from this. So what I mean is, and I can go into this a little bit later, but we wanted to live our experience of setting up a business here in the Bahamas and opening bank accounts, which took us around 6 months. And we've managed to take this down quite a lot to less than 24 hours using a digital platform, and then we can just grow it from there.
Interesting. And the next question I have for you is, why did you choose the Bahamas to launch your pilot project? What was so unique about the Bahamas?
The Bahamas is kind of in a perfect place right now when you're looking at digitization strategies. You've got the most important aspect is the government are truly on board with digitization. For example, you've got the Deputy Prime Minister that called this a digital paradise. And you've got the National Insurance Board that have been set the task of looking at a national digital identity, as well as releasing an RFP recently around a debit card payment solution for different islands. You've got the Securities Commission, which are bringing out the DARE bill in the next couple of months, which is the Digital Asset and Regulated Exchange Bill. And on top of that, the most exciting project to come out of the government so far is possibly the Sand Dollar, is a digital version of the Bahamian dollar, with pilots in December across Exuma, and then in the new year, looking into Abago. So the movement of money will be a lot more fluid. And then, on top of that, there's other reasons as well, such as the Bahamas right now, when you look at onboarding new clients, it is fairly manual and paper-based. This is perfect when it comes to digitization because it means there's not too many technology systems talking to one another to make it archaic. And instead, you can start fresh and organically and build a solution for the Bahamas.
Awesome, awesome. And going back to the article, it says that you're looking to double the number of IBCs registered in the Bahamas. Is this realistic? How? Why?
Yeah, I've actually had this a few times. I'm a numbers guy, and when you break down the numbers, to me it seems very realistic. So depending on where you look at how many companies are currently in the Bahamas, some says 100,000 IBCs, and the most recent one I've seen is 40,000 active IBCs, which sounds like a lot of businesses. But when you put into comparison that there's 2.2 million IBCs just in the Caribbean, and there's over 200 million private companies worldwide, the 40,000 to me doesn't look that unrealistic to double when you think about the Bahamas being one of the most attractive places to reside your business. And with the correct digital infrastructure, the ease of doing business will significantly increase. When you also think about where is enterprise going in the future? Just look at your professional services firms now, or any company really. Everyone's trying to adapt a distributed enterprise model, which means employees working from home, employees working from anywhere in the world behind a laptop. Digital networks is a lot cheaper and more effective around communication for businesses. Instead of owning a big tower block, they can now operate from laptops. So for us, we haven't seen somewhere right now where there's an all-in-one virtual office solution for employees and tax to be automated behind the scenes and moving assets. And that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to create this foundation. What better place than a tax-friendly jurisdiction like the Bahamas?
Awesome. So really, it's a platform that's equipped for the 21st century workplace.
Exactly. We're appealing, obviously, to existing companies such as IBCs, but even as witnessed with the DARE bill, which is the Digital Asset and Regulated Exchange Bill, we're seeing an emergence of what we call digital asset businesses. And when you think of the 200 million private companies worldwide, these are just digital asset businesses of the future. So there is an infrastructure which is needed for those businesses to reside.
And one of the big problems that we all know is how long it takes to register a company. And you say that your platform will speed up the process of registering from 6 months to a couple of hours. I mean, it's crazy. So how will you do that? How will you do that? Tell me.
I can actually get a bit more crazy. Our quickest time that we've done it is 7 minutes, and that is an application form across all stakeholders. Now that is best case scenario with account managers from banks, law firms, fund management, and administration companies and corporate service providers all sat behind their desks and waiting for this information, which we know is very unrealistic. But we're still expecting it to be around less than 24 to 48 hours to register and operate a business once the platform is completely built out. And the way in which we do this is we really we get rid of the due diligence and the duplication of data entry across all of the application forms for each stakeholder. And we put that back into the client's hands. And we say, set up what we call a digital identity and fill in this information. Once it's 100% complete, then we'll send it across to all of these stakeholders to manage the process from there.
So you're saying you put the information in once, you leverage the information across all the parties, and that's so efficient, it's so productive. So that brings me to my last question. You said that Liquidus has not come to eradicate jobs. So that would be the first thing that would come to someone's mind. Like, what am I going to do if you speed up the process? So you said that you've not come to eradicate jobs, but to improve the environment for doing business. What does that actually mean? And how will you improve things in the Bahamas for people actually living and working there?
Sure. So as I mentioned in my first question, which was how are we different? The way in which we're really different here is we're not building this protocol, we're not building this technology and hoping that banks change their ways, or law firms change their ways, or any corporate service provider change their way of doing business. We're building a digital wrapper around existing legislation and infrastructure around onboarding businesses into the Bahamas. We're basically a software solution that will allow a corporate service provider to onboard 100 companies a day instead of 2. So we work with corporate service providers, we work with banks, we work with law firms, we work with fund administrators, anyone that onboards client and would like to onboard at mass scale. That's how we do it. Now, think about Salesforce.com, the CRM company, as an example. Salesforce.com didn't mean that salespeople lost their job. It simply meant that it empowered them to make more sales by managing their customers, managing their clients. And that's simply what we're doing here with this technology. With the stats that I released a little bit earlier around the 40,000 companies currently in the Bahamas, but the 200 million private companies worldwide, the amount of companies that we think that we can bring into the Bahamas to provide that extra value in a digital infrastructure there's new jobs around virtual assistants, virtual sales teams, virtual customer support teams that need to be jurisdictional focused. Even around legislation and arbitration units within these networks, we don't even know how many types of jobs we could potentially increase because the platform needs to be built out. It needs to go through trial and error. But with more business coming in, it leads to more jobs for the Bahamas.
So you're talking impact on human capital capacity. You're talking improvement in business efficiency, productivity, of course, and overall the Bahamas coming into the 21st century in terms of these the services that it provides. Those are amazing, amazing things. I appreciate your through all of the different things that you were referring to, and looking forward to seeing this rolled out in the Bahamas.
Thank you very much.
Well, Rhonda, Matt, thank you for ending our first video session here. Your insights there, Rhonda, into the Bahamas community is very insightful and helpful. And Matt, thanks for attending, and until next time.